In this segment, we're going to tie my wiggle hex. I'm going to start our thread base just behind the eye. I'll go ahead and wrap that back to just above the barb and advance our thread back up. We're going to start with some tan marabou for a tail. I want this fairly short, about the gap of the hook. Trim that off. That should do it. And we're going to advance up just slightly. Next we're going to put in some amber Swiss straw. Cut it down in width to about 1/4 inch. I'm going to go ahead and fold that before I tie it in. And as I tie this in back towards the tail, I'm going to hold up on it. And we want to make sure we have no void there. We're back to the tail at that tie-in point. Come back up. Next, we're going to tie in some amber UTC ultra wire. The size is small. Put that in right there on the side. Once again, make sure we're tied right in at the same point. And next, we're going to tie in some natural gray ostrich. Serve as the gills. One more strand. Let's tie those in right at the base and we'll get rid of some of that bare stem there. And we're going to make our body out of some dirty yellow hairline rabbit. Go ahead and just build a slight taper here. A little too much. Go ahead and flatten that out just a bit. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap my ostrich. That should do it. Put a wrap or two to clean that up there in the front a little. And trim that excess off. And we'll just go ahead and splay that out to the side before we bring our Swiss straw up. And what I'm going to do is when I go ahead and tie this down, you want to make sure you keep it on top, but also at the same time just keep it lifted, just slightly elevated there. And tie that down. Clean that up, make sure it's tied down good. And then we're going to go ahead and rib it. We'll start right at the tail. Just make some open wraps evenly up through. And then we're going to go ahead and whip finish this. An extra one. Now, that's the back end of the fly. Looks good. Then we're going to go ahead, we're going to break the barb off. Now for the front portion, size 12 here. Go ahead and start a thread base. Right up behind the eye. I'm just going to come back halfway here and then come back up a little. I'm going to put in a set of mono eyes. Leave some room up there. Finish the fly off. Make sure they're centered. And do some figure eights through. Should do it. Make sure they're leveled off pretty good. And I'm going to hit this with a small drop of super glue. Not too much. I'm going to come back behind the eye. And once again, we're going to go ahead and tie in some 8-pound mono to attach the back end of the fly. Start it here right on top of the hook, progress back. What I like to do here is just go down around the shank of the hook just slightly, so that keeps that back portion just slightly down from the tail so we don't hang up. Go ahead and mount that. Pull it in. Don't pull it tight. You won't get the motion that you need. I'll leave a small loop there. Go ahead and secure that. Next we're going to tie in another piece of tan marabou, or transition there, or the tail on the front fly if you want to look at it that way. Just enough to come back here over the eye. Secure that. Rid of the excess. I'm going to finish going back here. And we're going to stay on top of the shank here. We're not going to go back down and around. Bring it up a little. And once again, we're going to go back to the Swiss draw. Make sure you get it tied in to where the tail is. You don't have any voids there. We're going to go ahead with a piece of henback. It's going to be our legs. Strip some of that. And we're not going to need this whole feather. Just enough for the legs. Now that should do it. Trim the tip off. Tie that in right on top. Now you can add some weight to this fly if you want, but don't add it to the back. Stay with it on the front. Sometimes I add some to the fly, sometimes I don't. I like to carry both. That should do it. Then I'm going to bring it right up in front of the eye. Flatten this out just a touch. Then I'm going to bring the hackle up and over. Just hold that there a minute. Now, when I pulled it up and tied it down, I didn't tie it down real tight. I just made 3 wraps. And if you watch, I'm going to pull that tight and then apply some pressure. Keeping the pressure. Finish tying it off. Then I'm going to pull that stem back. Make a few more wraps. And lastly, we're going to bring this Swiss straw right up over. Just make a couple wraps there, and then what we're going to do is come right behind the eye and skewer that with a couple wraps there and back up front. And for extra durability, what I like to do is fold that Swiss straw back so it doesn't slip out before I trim it. Lastly here, good, give it a whip finish. One more. Nice and tight. There you have it. Wiggle Hex. You can find all the materials at DeFranksFlies.com and the fly tying pages under materials. Thank you, and see you on the water.